So I want to play this Biden clip one more time. And then I want to play another version of it real quick. But I want to play this one more time. So Joe Biden made a statement yesterday after Roe v. Wade. And he didn't do anything other than say, oh, the Supreme Court's silly and dumb. And then also, don't you dare do anything about it. Don't you dare do anything about it. So I just want to play this again real quick.
I call on everyone, no matter how deeply they care about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No intimidation. Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale.
So violence in any form. Violence in any form. So I want to play this clip. This overlays his speech with the police in Washington, D.C.
Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale. So this is, of course, dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of armed soldiers not sent to go defend the Capitol on January 6th, 2021. No. These guys, they were on vacation on January 6th, 2021. They were nowhere to be seen. But people that are protesting the government that weren't going to do anything violent anyway, let's be honest. Most people that would go out to protest about Roe v. Wade are libs, and they're not going to be throwing Molotov cocktails. Let's be honest. Let's be real, okay? Let's just tell the truth. So when Joe Biden says no violence in any form, right? He's only talking down to people that are on the bottom. If you're a cop at a protest in Los Angeles, look at this video here. This cop right here is pointing a live weapon at someone, right? Before they dragged them across on pavement, arresting them. So again, I want to play this clip here. I want to play this again. Right? I call on everyone, no matter
and I want you to look at this shit
about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No
Is Joe Biden going to be talking
never acceptable
about police?
Threats.
Is he? No, he's not, because he doesn't fucking care. The cops are immune. They don't have to follow rules. They can point guns at people's head. If I went to a protest and I had a handgun and I pointed it at a cop's head and then I threw them down onto the pavement and then dragged them across the pavement, guess what would happen? I would go to jail. If you're a cop, you can point guns at people's faces. You can drag them across the pavement. You can hurt them as many times as you want. You're a cop. You can do whatever you want. But it's not just police that are fucking people up. Here we have a story from Iowa. Truck driver rams into abortion rights demonstrators at Roe rally in Iowa. A victim told HuffPost that the agitated driver careened into protesters on purpose in downtown Cedar Rapids. At least one person was hospitalized. A truck driver careened into a group of demonstrators in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, on Friday as they crossed the street during an otherwise peaceful protest of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. The unidentified male driver of a Ford truck rammed into several protesters. All of them were women at the tail end of the procession, rolling over one woman's ankle and sending her to the hospital. He tried to murder them, said a local journalist and witness to the attack, Liz Lenz. These women see him coming and a bunch of people put their hands out to stop him, and he just keeps going. Multiple witnesses, including one of the victims, described the scene in interviews with HuffPost. The male driver was waiting behind several cars at a red light downtown on a throng of protesters across the street. As a throng of protesters crossed the street, he became impatient, as several witnesses said, and hit the gas, maneuvering around several cars to ram protesters. Now again, in a lot of states, even if you're perfectly legally protesting in the street by crossing a crosswalk, it's legal. It's legal to go through a crosswalk. You might not know this, right? But in a lot of states, I'm not sure if Iowa is one of them, it is perfectly legal to mow down a protester and if they're in the street. So, and I want to show the video here. As you can see. Now, I just want to say, for your own safety, no amount of pushing at the front of a truck is going to stop them. No amount of, like, you know, saying stop. That's not going to stop them, okay? So, if you ever see a car trying to mow through a crowd, I just want to say I have words of advice. I've been through a situation like this last year during an Elizabeth City protest, right? Get the fuck away. I'm just letting you know. If you are anywhere near a car that is going through a crowd of people, I want you to get the fuck away from there because they don't care about you. No amount of force is going to stop the car from going forward. Get the fuck out. I almost got hit by a car last year, but I had the foresight to get the fuck out. And again, I'm not trying to, it depends on where you are, and these situations are very fluid. But I just want to say, like, for your own safety, if you see a car acting unpredictably, get the fuck away. Hide. Get out of the street. They will kill you. If they can, they will do everything in their power to kill you. I'm just saying, I'm letting everyone know. If a right-winger is driving through a crowd of protesters, their goal is to kill you. Their goal is not to get home in time to watch the game. Okay, that's not their fucking goal. Their goal is not, I gotta get to my daughter's recital. That's not their fucking goal, motherfucker. Their goal is to murder you. Or to handicap you for the rest of your life. So, I'm just saying, if you ever see a car do something like this, just get the fuck away. I guarantee you it's not going to end well. So, and again, I'm not trying to victim blame. I'm not at all. These people are horrible. That just drive through protests. They're horrible, disgusting maniacs. But again, we need to understand that the law is on their side. The police are on their side. Lawyers are on their side. Prosecutors are on their side. Judges are on their side. Politicians are on their side. Okay? They've got all the power. You've got none of the power. So I just want everyone to be very aware of that. But again, right-wingers are insane. They're going on killing sprees all across the country as much as they can. And all across the world, right-wingers are going on killing sprees. So again, I want to juxtapose this one last time with Joe Biden saying no violence.
To keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No intimidation. Violence is never acceptable.
Tell that to the police that are using tear gas, pointing live weapons at people, hurting people, dragging them across pavement for just expressing their First Amendment right to the freedom of peaceful assembly. These politicians don't give a shit about you. When cops kill people, when cops brutalize people, when cops threaten to kill people, it's okay. It's okay. You have no recourse. You have no power. You have nothing. A cop can point a gun at your head and say, I am going to kill you if you don't listen to what I say. And you can't sue them after the fact. You can't hold them accountable in any way. The best you can do is file a complaint that will be thrown into the paper shredder within a couple hours. That's the best you can do. I want everyone to know we are not on an even playing field at all. All the power is in the right winger's hands. All the power. Not just most of the power. All the power. And now, I'm not trying to be a doomer. I really am not. I think protesting is a good thing. I protest whenever I have the opportunity to do so. I think it's a good thing to protest. But when you go to a protest, you need to understand. It's like playing Dark Souls and you're doing a level 1 run where you're not allowed to level up and you're playing the whole game like that. You have no power at all. It is an unequal playing field. You need to go prepared to die. Every time you go to a protest, you need to be aware of the fact that you need to be ready to escape a life or death situation. Protests are life and death situations. You can be permanently disfigured or permanently handicapped at a protest for the rest of your life. You could get killed at a protest and nothing will happen. You will, like, if you get permanently disfigured, handicapped, or killed, the person that did that against you, especially if they're a cop, they will not be held accountable. If they're a right-winger like Kyle Rittenhouse, they will not be held accountable. And if you go to a protest and you're a left-winger and you're armed and you actually kill someone in self-defense, they will hunt you down and kill you, like we saw with Michael Ryanel in 2020. And the president will go on live television to brag about it. So even if you want to bring guns to a protest, even if you want to be armed, let's assume you escape that situation right then and there. Let's assume someone is going to kill you, someone shoots at you, you manage to not get shot or you get shot in the leg, and then you shoot them back and kill them. Guess what, motherfucker? You might have survived that scenario, but you are going to end up in a cage one way or another. And you are going to end up dead one way or another because we live in an unequal world. The playing field is unequal. We have no power. We have no rights. It's that simple. And now again, I'm not someone that says we should just sit down and shut up. That's not me at all. I'm saying make a mess. I'm saying be loud, be angry. But the most important thing you can do at a protest is survive. I'm just letting you know, right? And it's not just survival in the short term. The most important thing you need to know at a protest is that you should not die at this protest. Do whatever you can to survive and to help your fellow protesters survive. And like, that's the thing, at protest, no one should be yelling at each other over protest tactics at a protest. Someone at a protest, those are your friends. You should be willing to put yourself in danger to help one another. And everyone should be. And if everyone did, we'd have some goddamn solidarity. And don't do anything stupid unless you know for a fact that you cannot get caught. That's another thing. A lot of people do a lot of stupid fucking shit at a protest, and then they get fucking caught. And what good does that do anybody? If you bash a cop car's window, it might feel pretty cool, but if they ID you, it's not worth it. So again, don't do anything fucking stupid unless you know for a fact you're going to get away with it. And even then, don't put anyone else in danger if you're going to do something stupid. If you do something stupid and you put another protester in danger, it's not worth it. Now, again, I'm not saying to be, like, principally pacifistic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying we need to pick the battles as they come. There are people in jail right now from 2020 because they broke cop car windows. Right? There are people in jail right now from 2020 because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. and got falsely ID'd as someone else that did a crime. There are people in jail right now or dead that defended themselves in 2020. So again, if there are protests, you need to be careful. Right? If it's your first time going out to a protest, don't do anything stupid. If you've been to a protest 30 times and if you've been to 68 protests and you know what you're doing, then this podcast is not for you. Right? But a lot of people, again, you just got to be careful. I don't know what else to tell you. Because all the power is in their hands. We have no power at all. None. 0%. 0% of the power. We don't even have people power. No one cares. Liberals aren't going to do anything to help us. So we don't even have people power. We have nothing. We could maybe achieve people power, but we don't have it right now. Let's assume we did. If we have 5 million people march on Washington, is that going to do anything? Is Clarence Thomas going to go like, oh shit, my bad? And then go back in time or undo, press the undo button? That's not how it works. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a doomer. If you have the opportunity to protest, you should. I 1000% support protesting. All protests should be a learning experience. If you go to a protest, you need to pay attention to everything everyone is doing, including yourself, and learn. Learn what the cops do. Learn how the cops react. Learn how the cops communicate with one another. Learn what, their symbols are. Learn how people, congregate in protests. Learn. If you go to a protest, you need to learn. Step 1, learn. Don't do anything fucking stupid, especially if it's your first time going out to do a protest. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go to a protest. It's going to be cool. I'm going to riot and loot or whatever, right? Now, again, do whatever you want. But you need to know what the fuck you're doing. Because when you do shit willy-nilly and you get caught, you're not helping anybody. And, I don't want, everyone's got their own risk assessment. Right? But again, the number one thing is survival. That's the number one goal, is to survive. I don't know, man. I'm not saying protests are not worth doing. I think the protests are always worth doing, and I don't want to come across as if I disagree with that, but it needs to be understood. Again, where were those cops on January 6th? They weren't anywhere to be found because the right wing has all the power. So when the right wing does a protest, it's all good. They get to fuck anyone up. They get to kill anyone. They get to desecrate anything that they want. Cops are nowhere to be found. If you see one black person in the crowd, woof, call in the riot police. And that's just how it is. It's an unequal country. Any concept of fairness or equality that you were fucking brainwashed into believing in elementary school, that shit was a lie. This country has never been free. This country has never been equal. This country has never been fair. That's it. And I was going to talk about Oslo, but I don't want to talk about Oslo.